welcome to $5 Movie Bin. This week we chose Step Brothers, a 2008 comedy written by Will Ferrell and directed by Adam McKay. In this film, Brennan and Dale, two middle-aged jobless men who are still living at home, are forced to live together after their parents marry. And this film stars Will Ferrell as Brennan Huff and John C. Reilly as Dale Doback. I've gotten a lot of mixed reviews from friends and families. I've had a couple people come up to me and say that this is a classic, a must-see, but I've had other people come up to me and say the exact opposite, that they would never waste a minute of their lives watching this movie again. So I was very intrigued to watch it this week. And I'm mixed. It's interesting. We watched the unrated version. So just before we get any further into conversation, I want to give a content warning. There's a ton of profanity, violence, sexual encounters, and there's even
nudity, but
nudity.
Fake, but still.
Nudity.
You can find out what that is for yourself.
Yep, and you can always check on IMDb for any more content warnings. Just wanted to preface this video with that before we go any further. Let's dive in. What do you guys think? The silence says it all.
It was kind of boring, but some parts I was kind of giggled at. I found most I was kind of trying to get through the plot to get this thing that was actually funny. And a lot of stuff it seemed like they were trying a little bit too hard to be funny, and it's being no, didn't work.
I'm glad that Ethan had a giggle.
A giggler too.
Giggler.
I kind of agree with Ethan. I think physical comedy can be really funny, but it has to have some subtlety. There were a whole 5-10 minute scenes where they were just shoving each other, and that was it. And it was okay, yeah, we get it. But I think it was pretty funny. There were some. I was mixed about it. Also, there were some moments that were definitely chuckle-inducing. I think Adam Scott plays a really great asshole. I think the car scene where he was making his family sing with him and the way he treated his wife. It was awful, but it was very, very funny. Yeah, I think I agree with Ethan.
I love Adam Scott. I think if you've ever seen the show The Good Place, he plays a villain in that at some point, and he does, in Flora's words, play a very good asshole. But I think this movie, you would like it depending on what level of immaturity you're looking for, because some immaturity in a movie where it's physical comedy and stunts and fake violence and profanity can be funny, but this film really is only that. So if that's what you're looking for, then yes, it's all that. But that can get a bit much at times. So while it's their intent, there might be include more and it'll be funnier. It sometimes takes away from the film itself. So I thought it was kind of a mixed bag where some scenes were funny, but then as a movie as a whole, it kind of went over the top.
Yeah.
I think the content is certainly very adult, but I think the physical comedy genre of it is very fitting for a younger audience. So it was weird to see the two paired together. This almost felt like a step below Jackass, and Dirty Grandpa and those films. I would say I definitely got a few laughs out of it. It always kind of kept me on my toes, in my opinion. I found some parts very jarring, especially some of the language used that would not be acceptable while watching it today. The R word was thrown out quite a bit. The F slur, the fight scene after the infamous drum set scene was probably the most jarring to me when Nancy and Robert had to come rushing home because Dale and Brennan were fighting in the front yard and Brennan was screaming rape, and it was jarring in the respect of not being pure comedy gold, but just like, what the fuck is happening here? So slow down.
Actually, I just wanted to add on to some things that you said, Nicole. Like the film, like you said, it kept us on our toes, but I think that's mostly because it didn't really have a plot. Like it like at all, and so there's no logical way for the story to continue. I guess you could call it a character study if you wanted to treat this stupid movie as pretentious as possible. But yeah, there really wasn't much of anything happening at any moment. I do have to say though, I really liked Will Ferrell as a straight man. He played a straight man for like 5 minutes towards the end of the movie. I think he was really, really great at it because just being like weirdly neurotic a little bit. I think, I don't know, he doesn't do that enough for my personal take.
No, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
He usually takes on like super comedic roles where he's like really, really out there, and then there's another person playing like the straight man to kind of keep him in control and to balance out. But sometimes people underestimate the power of a straight man in films and TV, where they themselves, even though they aren't as erratic.
Oh my god.
Will Ferrell was pretty hot in this movie.
I swear to God, if you do not cut that out,
I'm so showered out. Oh my god.
Oh, a Freudian slip. Oh my goodness.
I will
Oh no, I
find
accidentally
you.
said that.
What I was gonna say is that the straight men and TV and movies is often seen as like not as funny, even though they're not as erratic as the kind of more wild character, but that doesn't mean they're not funny. An example, maybe a bad example, it's just what I can think of is the Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon would be like the wild one, and then Leonard is a classic example of like a straight man, but he's actually funny in himself. Not that I like really watch the Big Bang Theory, it's just the first thing
I don't know what you're talking about, Ava. Big Bang Theory is comedy gold. It's
really
top-notch
is.
stuff. He's a nerd. Maybe you don't get it, but like they're nerds, and so that's why it's funny. Like that's maybe
boys.
Yeah. It's good.
Little
very
sidetrack, but a few years ago when I was at improv camp.
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You have to do this exercise. You hand obviously there's nothing there. You hand the next person a package, and they just be like, "Oh, it's this," and like make it up. You try not to laugh, and I was like, they handed me, and I was like, a box set of all of the Big Bang Theories. Thank you.
That's a great gift. Yeah.
And I was like, I really needed a stool for my bathroom. This will be great.
Yeah, I've never seen it. It doesn't look very good, in my opinion. I haven't seen it, so I can't judge it.
Oh no, you'd love it. It's just really great. It's so good. They're so funny and relatable. Oh my god, you don't even know.
I can't tell if you're kidding or not.
I am. Please, for the love of God, everyone know I'm kidding.
There's a character for like the first few seasons cannot talk if there's a woman in the room.
Anyways, what do you guys think about the casting?
I didn't like Will Ferrell.
I feel like
I like him a lot normally, but in this movie he bothered me a lot, and I don't really know why, because I know him from Elf, and I love Elf. That's such a good movie. But then seeing him in this, I was like, no.
I feel like these two, though, are the only people that could have played these roles: John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. I kind of agree. Yeah, it's not only because they have the same hair, but like this is just the roles that they do. You know, I feel like it was kind of an obvious choice. Yeah.
It anyone's seen it's Holmes and Watson or Watson and Holmes. It's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. And this was very reminiscent of that. Kind of the slapstick physical comedy. I don't think I've ever watched a Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly movie that's ever been like pee my pants laughing.
Yeah.
Like that funny.
I just find I find comedy movies, I don't know why, but I just don't think movies are the right medium for comedy. Maybe it's just because the movie is too busy trying to balance character development, plot development, and pushing in as many like goofs and jokes as possible. So then all these things get mangled. But there are some really good comedy movies. It's just, I think, a lot harder to do in comedy in a movie format, maybe. I don't know.
I'm almost curious. When you mentioned comedy working in only a certain form of media, that's really interesting. I find that maybe not necessarily in just like a straightforward film, but like a documentary style, I think would be wicked funny. Because the one that comes to mind is Borat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that recently and it's so hilarious. And then looking at television shows that take the format Parks and Rec, The Office, Arrested Development, that documentary pulls off comedy a lot better.
I have
in my
like
opinion.
I have kind of a half-baked theory. Well, I kind of already said it, but like I think a documentary can work because you're not trying to force character development, right? Because a mockumentary is supposed to be natural. So you can have characters that never change whatsoever, and it doesn't really matter because it's supposed to be a documentary. And because you can't, people don't naturally just change. And then also those are most of the things you said were TV shows. So you have a larger expanse of time to change things. But I was also thinking about movies like why are the Monty Python movies so good, and like Spaceballs and Airplane? And I think once again, it's just because they don't really care about plot. Like in some way, this movie obviously didn't have a really well-defined plot, but like it was trying to show some character development, some sort of change. I haven't watched the Monty Python movies in a while, but from what I remember, it doesn't care so much about that as just doing all of these bits in like this one setting, like medieval England or during the Spanish Inquisition. So it doesn't need something to push it because it's just like, okay, look, here's this sketch after sketch kind of that are loosely tied together. That's just, yeah.
I wouldn't call Monty Python necessarily a documentary. It's more of like a funny story.
Yeah, sorry.
But it is like mostly comprised of sketches.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to. I should have made that more clear. I wasn't trying to say Monty Python was a mockumentary, but it's something about the absurdness of it and its lack of overall plot that makes it work better than comedy movies that are trying to include plot and character development.
I love Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
So good.
It's a true movie.
Actual comedy gold.
Yeah, it's the element of trying. Trying too hard is ultimately going to be worse than just doing it and hoping for the best. Because half the time when you just kind of do it, it works itself out in the end, and it makes moviegoers enjoy the experience a lot more.
I agree with that.
Bump, trivia.
I'm loving it.
That's
Okay, my piece of information, my piece of trivia was that in the talent show that they have Will Ferrell's character go to takes place at Great Valley High School, and the director, Adam McKay, that's the name of the high school he actually went to. Cool. Easter eggs, people, Easter eggs.
I heard in relation
I'm loving it.
I heard somewhat in relation to that Adam McKay has a writing partnership with Will Ferrell. So many projects that Will Ferrell's worked on, Adam McKay's worked on, and vice versa, whether that be writing, directing, acting, etc.
Okay, and speaking about those two together, Adam McKay actually originally wanted this movie to be a drama, but like if he's working with Will Ferrell on a pretty regular basis, you'd think he would have known that was not going to happen. So that was strange to learn.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Will Ferrell play just like a straight on normal dude. He always has to play someone hilarious, and it would have been interesting seeing that as a drama. Oh my goodness.
It would need a plot though if it was a drama. Like it couldn't be just what it was. Like it would needed like a well done plot. Yep. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of wish it did as a drama because I think it would have been more interesting. Because I think as a comedy, it just got kind of dumb, and I kind of lost interest in it pretty quick. But it could also been really bad as a drama too, so I guess we'll never know.
Ethan, what's your piece of trivia?
Yeah, so my piece of trivia, slightly different. Okay, basically my piece of trivia is that the Mary Steenburgen, who is Will Ferrell's stepmother in the movie Elf, which came out in 2003, was his real mother in this movie, which I thought was kind of funny. She was his mom in both movies.
Yeah. They look approximately, like she looks maybe 10, 15 years older than him.
She's actually 14 years older than him.
Yeah.
According to IMDb.
That's an interesting, I don't know, that's an interesting thing to think about, in Hollywood. Yeah, I think that brings up kind of an interesting point on how Hollywood treats women, like just like older women. Like what was she, like 54 in this movie? She was not old enough to be, well, I mean, I guess technically she could have been, but I don't think we were supposed to, there was no implication that she was a teen mother, right? Like she had been married, they got divorced. Yeah, it was kind of upsetting to think about.
I'd say so both of their sons are 40. So I'm guessing she was probably in her 20s.
Yeah,
she had him, so she'd probably be in her 60s, which isn't crazy.
Yeah, you're right. It just, I don't know. That's it.
So,
all right.
Welcome to the Boring Files, where we discuss what elements of the movie found boring. Maybe the whole movie, because I kind of found the whole thing to be kind of dry. Some parts were funny. Overall, boring though, I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think if you cut down like as I was saying, the physical comedy bits like in half by like 75%, it would have been better. Yeah.
But yeah, something we were talking about in the Home Alone 3 video, if you were to cut out about 40 minutes of this movie, just like this stupid stuff that was happening in between, what was supposed to be the plot, you'd get the same movie, just about. But I do agree that you have to have a certain taste in comedy. And I think that's with every comedy film that you get. You have to like the physical, try-hard humor to feel like you can relate to the film in any sense. Most of it was boring. I think the one thing that I wouldn't even call it boring, I would just call it frightening. We have to talk about the drum set scene. I'm sorry. Just before we get into it, for our viewers, skip about like 5 minutes ahead, in case you don't want to hear about nudity and private parts.
You don't want to hear about a $20,000 piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Smash that dislike button down below. Log off now.
Yeah. Anyways, so the infamous drum set scene. It starts off kind of boring. The audio actually blew up on TikTok at one point. Did you touch my drum set? Oh no, I didn't touch your drum set. And it was like this back and forth. And it was a trend for a while.
I specifically remember, like, I know you touched my drum set, Brennan.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's all I knew about the scene, or just the movie in general, before I even like watched it. So Brennan feels threatened by Dale, I think. So what happens? Brennan walks up the stairs, goes and touches his drum set, but not with his finger. Not with his finger, but his nutsack. And as Ava briefly mentioned, the testicles used. I feel so disgusting right now. The
You're the
testicles.
one who said his nutsack.
So basically, the thing that he touches the drum set with is a $20,000 prop. It's scary, but it looks so realistic that it almost kind of made me want to puke a little bit. just a bit. And then after that was sheer chaos.
Yeah.
Which is the one thing that was frightening about the movie, not so much boring. I'm gonna stop talking about this right now because I am.
Nicole found the scene very erotic.
Stop.
See, they won't understand that callback unless we keep in that Freudian slip, Ava.
So we're gonna have to keep it in, I guess.
Well, I don't know. She'll do it for the bit.
The diner scene, or sorry, not the diner scene. The dinner.
The dinner scene.
The dinner scene.
Dinner,
where-
diner, erratic, erotic.
So
same
uncomfortable.
Yeah, where Alice runs off after sending Dale the plate message saying let's fuck right now. She runs into the living room, like out of the house and around, and so does Dale. They're making love, and Dale
No. It's not good. It's not. That doesn't make
That's
sense.
not what they were doing.
Yeah.
they were doing something, and
They were playing Just Dance. And then the doors busted open. And then everybody saw them playing Just Dance, and they had to pretend that something else was happening. But then in reality, they were just playing a lot of Just Dance.
Yeah.
But they can't know because the family is very against them playing Just Dance together because that would be adultery.
Yeah, and one of them
No
happened
distance.
to get entangled with the other, and had a hard time getting out.
Sometimes you just gotta put your arms where it says to, no matter what's in the way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you got to get those perfect scores, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, and those were the two bits that weren't exactly boring to me, but not good. Not boring, but not good. Just
Nicole said the sex scenes were the
disgusting
ones
and
that were not boring to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole.
I don't know what to do anymore. You know what? Bart, this is all you. I can't do this anymore.
Hey, Queen. Personally, I can't do this
can't do
today.
this anymore.
Ava is too much for me. Also, this is like a weird thing. This is not drugs, if that's what
Yeah,
people think.
what is that?
It's like a marble inside of this sleeve that you can just like fidget with.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so Spot a Clarkie is when we scour the scenes of each film and we decide which of the main characters or whoever's in the background would end up attending, who looks like they would attend our small liberal arts university, Clark University. There's no one that comes to my mind right up front, though.
I have one. Alice would go to Clark.
Alice is
I can
Darren's
see
wife.
that. I was thinking that.
okay.
Who has an
Clark.
affair with Dale.
Okay,
She would go to
yeah.
Clark. I don't know
Yeah.
why. She would just go there. And
I
then
feel like.
And
Oh,
then
go on.
afterwards, she married Rich and like lost what she wanted to do. But then when she meets Dale, she comes back into herself.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say actually her son, like her older son, I feel like he'll grow up and he'll go to Clark, the singer with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, the young Aryan child. Feel like he.
Oh yeah, Tommy.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Tommy and Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. have we like defined what a Clarky is in one of these videos and how we determine?
It's just like
just look at my square and then you know.
Basically, anyone who looks like Ava.
anyone, yeah, that looks like they'd attend a liberal arts school.
Yeah. Yep. And everyone has their own definition of that, and we have our own. And that's whoever we see at Clark. But yeah, no, I agree with Tommy. I agree with Alice. My initial thought was Nancy. Maybe not a newer Clark, but maybe her undergrad, however young, and then it would be in the late 1900s, but I would think Clark was a lot more different then than it was now, and I feel like Nancy is just crazy enough to have gone to Clark. All right, anyways, thank you so much for watching 5 Minute Movie Bin this week. If you haven't checked out our previous video, please do so. We last reviewed Blowout. That's already up on our channel. Like, subscribe, and please comment what you think about this, because everyone has very differing opinions about this movie.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Smash the dislike, smash the unsubscribe, comment that you don't like us. It only makes us stronger. It's the fan behavior that we thrive on.
Nicole, you look like you've been emotionally undone.
All right, I'm done, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm loving it. All right, let's talk about Nicole now that she's gone. Personally, I think she looks like Ed Sheeran.